This is Jessica Perez-Beebe. You are in the right place. I just had to log on and log off. I was having a little connection issue here. So as you're jumping on for today's Facebook Live here inside of the High Performer Group, where we talk about how to find your edge, how to keep it, how to really create an exceptional life, how to pursue excellence and really be a high performer in your life. This is the group for you if that is what you're interested in 2020, lifting your mindset, lifting your expectations, lifting your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. That is what we talk about in this group. So as you jump on, please say hello, introduce yourself. If you're new, welcome to the group, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay. I love to have you engage with me live in the moment. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, also post your comments and I will connect and engage with you. Okay, so let us, we are on this new time, so I want to give people an opportunity to get used to me going at this time. So I'm going to invite a few people live right now. Good morning. I see a couple people jumping on, and let's just jump into today's topic. I am super excited about this topic. Really, this topic and all the topics that I have planned for you in this year, but really in the next couple of weeks and what we've been talking about in the weeks leading up. And what we're going to talk about today is winning, right? What does winning look like to you? What does it mean to you, right? One of the things that I have noticed in my circle and amongst other athletes. I'm a pro athlete. I've also been a successful entrepreneur in 4 different industries for almost 16 years. So what I've noticed amongst people who are winning, quote unquote winning, the way we're going to talk about it today, is that there are very distinct commonalities. And that's what I want to talk about today and really land with you what winning truly means, right? What winning in your life, in your business, in your relationships, right? Winning is more than trophies. Winning is more than plaques. It's more than accolades and recognition. I have a lot of all of those. Trophies, plaques, recognition, accolades. You probably do too. But winning, truly winning for yourself, for your life, for others, is so much more than that. It starts before the trophies, before the plaques, before the accolades, the recognition, and it extends beyond that. Do you agree? Come on, guys, wake up and connect with me. So I want to give you an example, first of all, and today's live is really going to support those of you who are really committed this year. And really, listen, I'm one of those people who's like, resolutions are really BS, because whatever you're committed to doing in your life, you're going to do whether it's November 1st or January 1st, right? But I want to speak to those of you who I know are like, you know what, new decade, new year, and I really want to go bigger this year. I know that I have more inside of me. I'm sick of playing small, and maybe you haven't even been playing small. Maybe that you're like at a 7 or an 8, which is way above most people out there in the world, but that you've got the 9 and the 10 in you. Those are really the people that I work with. Those are the people who get the most success working with me, people who show up with the winning mindset that I'm going to talk to you about. And you can learn some of this, but a lot of this is just in you. So as we're talking about this, I want you to let me know, does this sound like you, or are there parts that I'm talking about that you actually want to tap more into, that you can grow inside of you and tap into in order to be that 9, be that 10, pursuing 10. Okay, so that's who this live right now is going to support. So I'm going to give you an example of what it means to be a winner and what it means to have a winning mindset. And I'm going to connect this to Kobe, right? Because that's kind of front and center in the news today. Recently, I sent out an email. I did a post. I did one of my pocket coachings. If you're not getting pocket coaching from me and you want it, let me know in the comments. It's just $17 a month. And I send you some really great coaching with very practical tools every single Monday. And every single Monday I send it out, I get people responding to me, telling me how much that has helped them. So if you want that, just message me here in the comments, or just send a private message and my team will get you that right away. So what I have been talking about is the fact that where I really got to get a little insight into Kobe and some other athletes is in a book that I read last year called Relentless. And Tim Grover is really known in that athletic world for working with the top people, right? Like working with Kobe, working with Michael Jordan. And here's the thing. Guess what he trained them on? This. That's all. And that's how he got them to the top. Now, they already came with what we're going to talk about. And then from there, he's able to really take them to the next level. And he calls those people cleaners. That's not really important yet, but I am going to reference some things that he talks about, because this is the commonality that these type of exceptional athletes, exceptional people in life, leaders, your top coaches, your top influencers, the people that you see out in the world who are really inspiring people, who are really walking their talk, right? Not just saying what they want to do, not just sitting back and being a judge of everybody else, but they're actually out there on the battlefield every day, being judged, being liked by some, hated by others, but you see that they are creating greatness in your life. So that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about winning. Okay, you guys with me? So I want to just give a simple example in my own life. You know, I turned pro last year in my sport of bodybuilding, right? Lifting weights, right, is like the sport there. It's sculpting, it's looking at what needs to be tweaked, it's adding muscle in the right places depending on the division you're in, right? It seems like a very superficial when you look at it from the outside. There's so much more to it underneath that, right? And it's a daily thing, right? Like any sport is, but you have your on season and your quote unquote off season, which I want to get back to. There's really no off season when you have a winning mindset that we're going to talk about. But there is a daily practice that has to do with the physical element. It has to do with what you're putting in your body element. And it also has to do first and foremost with this. In any sport, in anything in life that we want to achieve, it all starts and ends here. So for example, when I won at the national level last year, right? First place in my age group and also first place among 18 years and older, right? That's called the Open. I won in a big way in a really big competition, right? Guess what? And tell me if you get this, because this will really be an indicator of whether or not you have this kind of mindset or you don't. You can judge it, you can make it right or wrong, but it is the fact, right? And I know it from reading about other people. I know it from like reading Tim's book, and I suggest you read it, Tim Grover's book, Relentless. And I just know it from talking to other really high-level people in business and sports and all of that. And what I'm talking about is the winning, the actual winning, the Jessica Perez-Beebe, first place, the getting the trophy, all of that. That's not actually the glory. That's not actually what does it for the person who has the winning mindset, for this person who is relentless in life, for this person who is pursuing excellence, right? High performance. That's not actually what does it, because it's a very small little window of time, seconds, maybe minutes, where you're like, yeah, awesome. And guess what? Immediately you shift to what's next. Again, you may judge it as right or wrong, but it is one of the common factors that people with this mindset have. It's what's next. So the winning comes in what you're doing every single day. It truly comes from the process. It comes from the moment to moment decision to do this or do that. It comes from the moment to moment decision to quote unquote deny yourself something that's immediate for the other thing that is going to get you the long-term result or get you the result in general. So it's, you get your award, walk backstage, coach comes up, gives you a hug, and my focus is, okay, what's going to be our pro debut? Or what's going to be, when I won in regionals, it's like, okay, now I got to focus on turning pro, getting to the national, once I get to the national stage. When I won that, guess what? It was for a moment celebrating, yay, and my assistant coach, my coach and my assistant coach in my coaching program, meaning an employee of mine, she was there with me. We celebrated, and immediately my focus is on being brand new again, right? Making my pro debut and focusing on what's next for that. So the point that I'm making is being a winner is a mindset. It's a way of being in every single moment. It's what you do when no one's looking. It's what you do when no one's coaching you. It's what you do when no one's holding you accountable, right? It's not about resting on your past accomplishments. Oh, I did this before. Winning is like a day-to-day thing. It's a day-to-day thing. It's one thing to sit back and say, I used to be great in high school, and yet you're sitting there with like no goals, no ambition, gaining weight, vegging out in front of the TV. Guess what? Pro mindset, athlete mindset, winning mindset, excellent mindset, high performer mindset, relentless, the cleaner that I'm talking about in this book that Tim Grover mentions, Kobe Bryant, he mentions, Michael Jordan, all the other greats. The attitude that they have is not resting on what they've done before. Winning is a in the moment mindset. It's always, here's the moment, and then what's next, okay? Failing doesn't intimidate you, and it doesn't stop you. This is the mindset that you want to adopt if you're really committed to being a 10 in life. Making 10 the top. I don't want to hear people saying like 11, 12. Like, listen, if we're setting it at 1 to 10, it's not about being higher than a 10. It's being a 10, right? Then people start getting into this wishy-washy thinking and changing the ceiling and all of that stuff, right? So if we're talking about a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, like what gets you to a 10? What gets you to 100? It's that thinking. It's not even like fear doesn't even factor into any of it. Failing doesn't factor into any of it. It doesn't mean you don't feel it, but it means those things do not stop you. They don't have any weight over you. Michael Jordan talks about the fact he's missed way more baskets than he's made. He's lost way more games than he's won. That does not matter. So an amateur way of thinking is, I'm not going to do this because I might fail. A pro way of thinking is, I might fail and who gives a shit, right? Like then I'll go to the next level, right? So how do you think on a daily basis? If me describing this way of thinking to you, like it's like you get your win and then you're on to the next. If just thinking about that exhausts you, and for some of you it does, then you're probably not what Tim Grover identifies as relentless in your pursuit of excellence. That's okay. Know who you are, and then just be that, become more of that, right? I always say, and I teach it to my clients who are coaches, I say, listen, your job is not to convince anyone that they are the ideal client for you. Your job is not to convince anyone of your way of thinking coming around to your way. Your job is to identify those people when they come to you or when you actually maybe seek them out. Identify the ones who already have that state of thinking and want the support to get to the next level. Right? So like I said, if this way of thinking and being just blah is like, exhausting to you, you don't think it's healthy and all of that, that's okay. This conversation isn't for you, right? So a cleaner as Tim Grover describes it in his book Relentless, is like the third category of person, right? And the cleaner is the Kobe. It is the Michael Jordan, right? It is probably your Steve Jobs, like all of those people, right? And here's what we get to acknowledge about that. There is a dark side to that, right? I mean, every personality or way of being has its flip side, its dark side, and you get to be honest about what yours is, right? So if you're a person who's like, nope, that's not me, I'm totally cool with just average, I just want to have a easy, relaxed life, I'm super laid back, I don't need to be the best, I'm not competitive, that's great. That's totally fine. You get to be that person. I have a lot of those people in my life who I love and adore. Their flip side is what? Sometimes mediocrity, right? Their flip side is maybe being, being held back by fears and worrying about what others think of them and those types of things. So the thing is, like, just identify who you are, be great with that, and then pursue. If you are a cleaner and you fit this description, then, and you accept that and acknowledge it like I have about myself, it's like, okay, let me go all in with being who I already am, right? So cleaners do have that dark side, right? They get into that zone and they get what they want. Sometimes they pay for it by solitude, right? That's okay. Excellence often can be lonely at moments, but loneliness doesn't scare you, right? It doesn't scare you. In fact, you can feed off of it because cleaners never stop working. It's just the truth, right? It doesn't mean they don't rest. It doesn't mean they don't care for themselves. It doesn't mean they aren't pros in the way that they approach it, and they are focused, so they're not doing a bunch of crap that doesn't make sense and doesn't mean anything, so they're not getting burned out there, but they never stop working for what it is they are focused on. They don't stop physically, they don't stop mentally. Okay, so the truth is, no trainer, no coach, no expert can make you good, can make you great, can make you a winner. Nobody, myself included, we cannot make you that. You can't make somebody else that. If they're not going to do the work, if you're not going to do the work, or if you're waiting for someone to make it happen for you, because the cleaner knows it's always on me, right? And so at a certain point, if this is resonating with you and this is what you want for yourself, and you connect with, yeah, that's me. And maybe you haven't been living up to that. Maybe you've been what he calls in the middle, a closer, right? You're great, but only when everything is laid out for you, right? Pardon me, a cleaner is more than great. They're exceptional. They're relentless. And they don't wait for others to lay everything out for them. So if this is connecting with you and you know there's like, you're at a 7, you want to be at a 10, there's a certain point where you need to stop waiting for others to lay everything out. You need to tell yourself what to do and do it. Now, telling yourself what to do might be, I need to invest in myself. I need to, stop trying to do this on my own. You don't see any of the tops or the greats doing anything on their own without direction, without coaching, without support, without community. However, they don't stop there. There's the stuff they're doing behind the scenes on a daily basis. That's the winning attitude. It's what you do when nobody's holding you to it. It's honoring your word, like we talked about last week. It's accountability. How do you make yourself accountable, right? Let me share you this quote from Tim Grover from the book. I don't care how good you think you are or how great others think you are. You can improve and you will. That's the mindset, right? Like, it's not about what others think of us. We know we can improve and we will. Being relentless means demanding more of yourself than anyone else could ever demand of you. That's really the key. knowing that every time you stop, you can still do more, right? It's in you. You do it not for the accolades, not for the attention. You end up getting accolades, you end up getting the attention, but you're not doing it for that. That just happens as a result. You're doing it because it's your way of being, and there's no other way you can be. Does that make sense? Right? In anything you do, like, what you get to recognize is it doesn't take talent to be committed, to take action, to do the work. That doesn't require any talent. That requires a way of thinking, a mindset, an attitude. So make a plan in whatever you're doing right now in your life, in your career, in your fitness, in your relationships. Make a plan that truly reflects your goals, your interests, no one else's. And because of that, you'll be more likely to execute. You'll be more likely to be consistent. Don't pretend you're going to work out every single day, for example, when you know you're only going to do it 2 or 3 times. Like, the bottom line is excellence, winning attitude, winning mindset, pro mindset. All of that starts with honesty. Honesty is the same as accountability. And then go out there and own it. If you are that relentless person, stop trying to hold yourself back. You cannot be that person. You cannot be that winner and also be tethered. We talked about this last month. And also be tethered to those fears or the judgments, fear of judgment, not being seen, all of those things. It's about laser focusing on where you want to go, shutting out the rest of the noise, being relentless about it. So if this resonated with you today, let me know. Tag someone in the group that this could support. And if you want me in your ear every Monday with a very specific actions and insights for getting immediate results now, send me a message and we'll hook you up with pocket coaching, just $17 a month. It is like the lowest amount of investment you'll ever get. There's no contract. Get it as long as you want it. And when you no longer want it, just let us know. You guys have an incredible hump day. I hope this supported you. I'll be going live on my business page as well, once or twice more this week. So make sure you have your notifications turned on there and have an incredible day. Bye.